Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. As you know, I'm asking the citizens of this great state of Minnesota to consider me as a replacement and one to finish out the term of the senatorial office of Senator Al Franken. This election is to take place, as you might be well aware, November of 2018. It's a special election. And I'm not running as a Republican or a Democrat. And I'm running as an independent. I'm running as an independent because I hope that the people of the state of Minnesota, this great state, deserve more than the norm. And I'm running as a write-in because I want people who envision what I want, what is peace, prosperity, and joy that is translated into food, clothing, shelter, education, health care from the womb to the tomb for every citizen, not just of this state. Because my effort, ladies and gentlemen, is at the same time ask the United States public to write me in as the president in 2020. Write my name in, Eddie Marcus. Why? Because I hope that the people of this nation deserve better. You see, when the nation says, and I hope you are aware of this, that the economy is great, they're talking about the bottom line. They're not talking about you, the people. Now, there are many of you who will agree. Many of you won't. In every economy, when the economic growth occurs, invariably the poverty increases. As in the US of A, in their efforts to make America great again, within that plan is a plan that will create an extension in the poverty. In other words, they're really riding the backs of those victims of poverty to get what they call an increase. Now, it can't be any more clear than that, ladies and gentlemen. But it has been projected that pretty soon China will be wearing that badge of the world's greatest bottom line. And at that same time, they're considering that the U.S. might have been reduced to fourth. Now, can you imagine what that would be like? Yet some will say that competition is a game. Competition is a game, a great game, they call it. They say it keeps progress moving. But it is ignorant that with every winner, there's a loser. That's that one at the bottom, the one you call poor. And so the process continues. Winners change hands, and the loss remains. The poor. Ladies and gentlemen, this campaign that I bring to you is about something special. It's about heaven on earth. America great can't touch that. No power on earth can touch that. Why? Because heaven on earth is much better than any of that. And some might say, well, what is your motivation? I say heaven. Some say, well, what is the reward? I say heaven. Some say, who are the winners? And I say, everyone. Who are the losers? And I say, none. Now, to me, ladies and gentlemen, you understand that I'm not here playing games. I am here to free those in bondage by delivering the truth. It is the truth that will set you free. And I'm going to leave one other little thought with you to show you how easy it is to be deceived and how only truth will release you. There was once a man who used to sit and stare at a dancer over and over. She had his total attention. She was a great dancer. And one day, while observing the dance, a thought crossed his mind. What if this is not even real? Now, one of the things that had made him love this dance so much is because it was amazing to see humans able to do these kinds of things. And so with that thought in mind, he just did what he hadn't done before, paid attention in a different light. He stared at the dancer. He stared at her skin, and he noticed that it seemed to have been too smooth. I mean, it was just out of the ordinary, just as a dance was. He looked at the way her form was, and it was perfect. Well, there's a lot of perfection going around here, but this was extraordinary now that he's focusing. And then he looked further, and he looked at her hands and noticed something strange about those hands. They didn't really look like hands. The fingers didn't work right. And all of a sudden, he saw that it wasn't a person at all. It was, you probably know the name for it. It was created machine, artificial intelligence. And he just stood back and looked at it. What happens is that what you think is going on, probably motivated by some propaganda that's been set in your mind to be keyed when a certain event occurs. And you accept it. You accept it, you accept it. But when truth comes along, as within this country and all the countries on earth, where people are trying to be the biggest and the best, where people would do anything to be God except love. And the only way that that will change is when people, the people, know the truth. Know that all of these folks who say they are gods are not God. The evidence is in each of these individuals, if they were, for those who are parents and those who would be parents, they know how they would feel about their children if they would have some, and those who got to know how they feel about their children. And it would be special. You hear people say all the time that if there's a God, how can God allow the sufferings of the world? And that's a legitimate question. But when you have given the power to allow it or not in the hands of those who are victims, what right do you have? But in the spite of love, the word is still given to many that God is real. Because the people have always had the fear of death. And it is death that keeps them bound, the fear of it. And so every now and then someone will come to you and say, there's another way. And for me, ladies and gentlemen, it is heaven on earth. And I need you to write me in so it can begin. Thank you.